Hey everybody, it's Brother Jax here with another episode of CLT Bytes, and I have Chris here, and I'll let him introduce himself and his business.
What's up, guys? My name is Chris Davis, and I'm the founder of Phorce MG, Phorce Management Group, and the Black Gamer League.
Alrighty, I didn't know you were behind the Black Gamers League up until I checked out the website because I'd always seen you share their stuff, but I didn't know you were behind it. So I was like pretty surprised when I found that out a few weeks ago. I was like, oh, okay, well that works.
Exactly. Yeah, man.
So what drove you to become an entrepreneur?
Honestly, man, ever since I was younger, I started personal training. I never really liked the average jobs everyone else had. I
Mm-hmm.
always had a lot of ideas with how I wanted to make money, so it kind of I've been doing it for a long time and finding different paths to go down, and it's been fun. I like building my own, and I think that's the main reason why I'm an entrepreneur. I just like building my own, kind of creating my own path, man. It's important.
Yeah, that's such a much more fulfilling role to have when it's like I made it and I made it happen. That's
Exactly, man.
I can't stop staring at that My Hero poster you got in the background. Love it.
Oh, bro, that's my show, man. That's my show. Yeah, I got a bunch of stuff back there. So yeah.
Yeah, I keep looking up on my. I'm sure I'm looking at that right. I'm sure that's My Hero. So how long have you been an entrepreneur? You said right after high school, or was that before that?
Yeah, so I'll say probably when I got to college, I was personal training. I've always been involved with fitness and martial arts. So I started personal training in college, and that was my first like taste of okay, I know I'm in here getting a degree, but it's like I really like working for myself. I like kind of building my own path, building my own brand, and started training people in college, kind of branching out, learning how to really promote myself, advertise, things like that. And I just thought it was fun. I mean, any entrepreneur out there knows that it's definitely a hard path to go down, but the things that make it the best are the things that we control. So me being able to control how I went about things and impacting people the way I do, it's all been fun. It's all been a part of a good journey.
Nice. I'm super jealous because still yet to start that, but eventually, hopefully. um,
You're all good.
so, how long have you been in the Charlotte area, or like even the greater
So
Charlotte?
yeah, so I am a professor. I'm a sport management professor at Livingstone College in Salisbury. So I got that job 4 years ago. So I'm originally from Charleston, South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I went to college at Livingstone, so that's my alma mater, my undergrad. Um, and after I got my master's degree at the Citadel in Charleston, South Carolina, I got the job up here, so I moved up here. And, been loving it. Been loving being back in North Carolina. I feel like I'm a North Carolina boy at heart. I was actually born in Salisbury.
Oh, okay,
So,
okay.
I
So you
moved
went
home.
away.
Yeah, so I found my way back, but it's all good, man. I love Charleston. I'm sorry, I love North Carolina. I love the area, so it's been fun being back, really.
Yeah. So I know you had mentioned that you were taking like martial arts after high school or even during it, but I know after talking with you that you also pursued a MMA career. So what drove you to that versus just like sticking with like boxing or like a single martial art in general?
So actually, man, I've been a martial artist since I was like 3.
Oh,
I got
okay.
yeah, so I've always been influenced by all the classic kung fu martial arts movies. Bruce Lee, a couple everyone says Bruce Lee, but for real, Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, Jet Li. My granddad got me on those movies, so when I was younger, I was like, man, I gotta get into this. And they had a karate program at my school that I started with, and it was in Waterloo Japanese karate, so traditional karate. So, basically similar to Shotokan for people out there.
Oh, okay.
But so I started with traditional karate. Got my black belt like 12 all through that time I was training, I was always been an athlete. So once I got to high school, I kind of took a step back from karate. That wasn't cool.
Yeah, yeah.
It wasn't what it is now.
No.
It wasn't like that. I went to high school in like '05, so I started like really focusing on like the traditional sports, basketball, football, track. Uh, Went to college, went to Livingstone, ran on a track scholarship, and like my junior or senior year, um, so all throughout college, I been still been training. That's when everybody started popping off. I was like, man, I really want to do this. Watching those old movies, man, it was like, yeah, I'm a martial artist, but I want to fight. I want to test myself.
Yeah.
All the movies, they gotta go against somebody. And I was like, man, I really want to test myself. So I started going home back, during the breaks and training at, some new MMA gyms down in Charleston. And then my junior, senior, I was like, you know what, I really once I graduated, I really want to go after it. So that's what I did, man. I graduated, and then I went down and started really training full time. I was still personal training,
Mm-hmm.
just to basically pay for, my gym membership.
Yeah.
So that's what I was doing, man. And it was a great journey. It was a great journey. I started getting my master's like probably couple of months after I got home. So I was getting my master's and training full time. So that was the journey itself.
Oh man, you were grinding.
Yeah, for sure. But it was good, man. Taught me a lot, and it's nothing like getting in front of 100 people, 1,000 people, in a cage and seeing what I'm working with.
Yeah, it's like, let's see how well I perfected this craft.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
So, what was your favorite martial art that you have studied?
So even now, kickboxing is my all time favorite. There's a difference between kickboxing and Muay Thai.
Mm-hmm.
I really love Muay Thai for certain aspects. My knees especially. I love kneeing people.
Yep.
But
Little tiger knee.
kickboxing was more. Yeah, no, seriously, man. Kickboxing was more so what matched well with my base, which was karate. I just
Okay.
had to learn how to box. Karate didn't really focus too much on the punching techniques. It was more so kicks. So my kicks have been always great, but once I got into kickboxing and Muay Thai, that's where I really learned how to box and start putting it all together. So I've always been a stand-up guy. And it's been fun, but I have a special love for grappling too. It took me a while. To really
I would
pick up.
imagine so after training on your feet for so long.
For forever. I had there was no grappling in Waterloo Japanese karate. So
Yeah.
it was definitely a transition. But yeah, man, I'm stand up till I die. I got my bag over here. It's going down.
Yeah, no, because I think, I mean, I honestly I can't remember when it was. I just remember uh, for a good stint there, you were like posting when you would like kind of go into the garage and start working the bag a little bit. And I saw you doing Muay Thai, and I was like, oh man, because like that's like one of my most favorite ones to watch, or like Muay Thai fights, just because they're brutal. Then
Brutal,
also
man.
the Street Fighter probably gets every young kid into it.
Yep,
um,
for sure.
but yeah, one of my I say high school, but I think I knew him when I was still in elementary school. But his dad was a style of karate that you learned on. He was a master and had a school over in California. So when he'd come home, he would train with his dad. And I never took any formal lessons, but I always sparred with all my friends. Man, the first time I went up against one of the kids who was training in Muay Thai, I got my butt whooped. But I was like, I like that style.
No. Honestly, man, that's exactly what happened to me the first time I went to an MMA gym. Karate, like all Bruce Lee-ish. I'm bouncing around, using
Hmm.
a lot of energy. The Muay Thai guy sitting there traditional. I'm moving around, burning up my energy, grabs me. starts with the clinching, I'm just like, oh shit, I don't know anything
I'm
about
so
this.
done.
I don't know anything about this. So that was a wake up call. So I feel you with that pain, bro.
Yeah, that was like the biggest wake up call. And then there was one time a guy, he kneed me in the chest, and I had my hands here to block, and I actually grabbed my freaking sternum, and it pulled it out when he kicked up, and I pulled up, and I was like, man, I was like, that's the last time I'm doing that. Of course, I come to school the
You're
next
like,
day
what?
with like 2 black eyes. I was,
Oh
man,
man.
that was a terrible day. um,
Hey, respect for you even doing it, bro. Respect
yeah,
for you
for
doing it.
sure. So, what are some of the things you look for your creators or athletes that you bring into force management?
So yeah, for PMG, man, really it's all about their own flavor. I'm not looking for people that they have the biggest following already, or people that kind of know all about what they want to do with themselves. I like helping people kind of build themselves. So I find people that are dedicated, committed to what they're doing, that have a passion for it. A lot of times, what I've noticed is a lot of people they kind of they're trying to find their passion still, or they
Mm-hmm.
get into things and they're not 100% sure what direction they want to go in, which is fine. But you have to have some form of passion to go behind what you're doing. That's just how I feel. So if people are coming and I'm seeing different types of people, I really just want to see if they really enjoy what they're doing, if they are true to what they're doing, if they have that passion for it, that underlying passion for it. That's what matters.
Yeah, it's kind of nice that you're grabbing people and it's like, hey, do what you're already doing. I'm just gonna help you
Mm,
get to where you want to go.
exactly.
That's kind of
Exactly.
nice. That a lot of times, they're like, okay, so you're on our team now, so this is what we want you to kind of portray or push out, and a lot of times it's usually whatever's going to get you the numbers, whether you like it or not. the
Yeah.
it's sad sometimes to see it happen.
I just feel like it's real important for you to not only find genuine people, but genuinely want to help people as well.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times you find um, different people, different places that kind of just want, like you said, like you mentioned, they just want you to do it this way. They, whatever way they feel is going to benefit them the most. And I know
Mm-hmm.
that you're trying to build something from the ground up, like I am with PMG. It's better to be um, receptive and maybe learn something along the way yourself. So that's how I am.
Yeah, because I mean you can't obviously go into it thinking you already know how to do everything. It's a pretty vast environment, pretty new environment. So how did you handle any negative Nancy's or like Debbie Doubters when you were kind of breaking out of your traditional 9 to 5 mold?
Man, honestly, I going into MMA, that really helped me because it's something about me, man. I've never taken the traditional route with anything that I've done. Like, besides go to high school, go to college, and that's not even traditional itself. But
Mm-hmm.
as far as what I've chosen to do with my life, man, it's always been. I've always been like the only person that have done it. Within my friend group, or it hasn't been something my family's done. No one in my family was a martial artist. No one in my family does anything with gaming or anything of the
Yeah.
sort.
Like what
So
is
it's like
this?
this kind of building my own path, man. I really feel like I've been blessed to have the courage to do things that people around me may not even know about. Um, so going into MMA was my first taste of that. Really, being able to go, um, trying to explain to people why I was willing to go fight in a cage, and
Mm-hmm.
that kind of transferred over. It's like if I can do that, I can really do anything, and I'm not afraid to do anything outside the box because one, I think it's interesting. Like when I look back over my life, when I'm old, I want to say I did this, and this, and I'm proud to do it also. Now coming into the gaming and esport industry, something else that you know the people I was around growing up, they didn't have any kind of footing in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have anyone that is a lot of veterans,
No,
anyways. Now,
yeah,
right now, but it's even less where I come from. So I was
yeah. I'm trying to think
happy.
if I can even think of anybody from around the Carolinas in general that's kind of really took off in it to be well before any of this, and
Yeah.
I'm drawing blanks. I mean, heck, even some of the old veterans are pretty much out now. Some of them are in orgs, some of them are in like the I don't want to call it like marketing industries, but the industries that help put on the big tournaments and stuff like that. But like you said, there's few and far between of like the veterans that are here because I mean, heck, the group is still being made, the veterans. So yeah,
Exactly.
that's I would imagine there is nothing that you'd be afraid of doing after stepping into an octagon. That's for sure.
You know what? I mean, honestly, bro, it's really not. It's really not. It's like what someone's going to talk about me. That
Yeah,
doesn't do anything.
it's like that's the week before the fight. It's
Right,
probably when you hear the
exactly.
most trash talk from your opponent, like the week before the fight. Then you step in the ring, they're like, maybe that was a mistake.
Right. It's funny, man, but it really taught me a lot of life lessons that I hold on to. So it's been great. It's been great.
So what are like some tools and facets that you love to use to interact with any like customers or fans?
So obviously, big social media. I'm a talker. So I really love getting FaceTime, different interviews, calls, things like that, where I can really make sure I'm understanding what my fans are looking for, what people in the industry are looking for, people I connect with when I network and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I really like making sure I'm communicating clearly because a lot gets lost in technology nowadays. We have so many different ways to communicate, text,
Mm-hmm.
email, things like that. But it's like, the more I can actually hear you and kind of get a vibe of who you are, and you can hear me and hear the what's in my voice and the vibe that I'm giving off. I feel as though that helps me connect a lot with you know different people from all walks of life,
Yeah.
and that's one thing that I try to I try to really help my team and the people with PMG that are involved and like and really to really see the more we communicate, the more you're open to communicating on different forms and getting
Mm-hmm.
comfortable with that, it's going to open up for you. A lot of things will open up.
Yeah, I would say like um, whenever I'm talking with my dad, it's usually through like messenger or text, and man, he always thinks I'm just like super mad at him because I'm like a lot of times like it's like in between me at work whenever I'm like going out to a job because I'm only in for a certain little bit of time and then I have to go back out. So like I'm like being real quick, or if like I'm at the house and he texts like right before, it didn't happen tonight, but the other night he had texted right before I did another show, and I was like, he's like, "You okay? You seem mad. You're short. You're being short." And I'm like, "I got a podcast to record in like 2 minutes." And he was like, "I'm so bad at reading this," and I'm like, "It's like, yeah, I should have just made a phone call. Like I should know by now."
Like make it quick. Right, make it quick. Let me. I'm not mad at you. I'm just about to do something. It's funny. It's funny, man. It's funny. But like even like this, like podcasting, I love it. I love it face to face in any form.
Hmm.
It's cool. But you can get a feel for somebody when you sitting face to face and you looking
Oh
looking
yeah,
them in the face. So
that's the probably like my most favorite form of communication is being able to, hey, it's like, hey, you want to go out, have a lunch, or just hey, like if you're at a like convention or some sort of like conference and you're just like, hey, I want to talk to that guy. It's like, hey, you want, mind just coming over here in this corner real quick? Just want to kind of pick your brain a little bit.
for sure.
The next question I really love hearing because I've already bought like 3 books now. But so are there any books or like people that influence you?
Yeah. So people wise, I I'm influenced by a good amount of people actually. But I'll say number one is my granddad. He was my preacher. He's a leader in the Charleston community, and following him and seeing him, his public speaking skills, how he interacts with people, makes fun. jokes around and is serious and stern as a leader. That really influenced my whole entire life. And luckily, he's been my father figure. So
Oh, okay.
I always have to shout him out. Now to more people that people probably know, I look at Jay Z, I look at Rich Paul, sports agent.
Mm-hmm.
I look at Joe Rogan,
Oh yeah.
for sure. Those three people. I guess energy from looking at and interacting with as much as I can. Reading anything about Jay Z, hearing their interviews. I listen to Joe Rogan every day. That's why I listen to in the car. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Oh,
if I
that's
go
it's
anywhere, I'm listening.
just the Joe Rogan show, hands down.
Yeah, yeah, so it's like that. That's what I'm listening to. Obviously, for obvious reasons, I feel like I relate with Joe a lot. Martial artist.
Mm-hmm.
Joe does a bunch of things.
He
Comedy.
does.
Everything. So I find myself in that same space of obviously I'm a martial artist, but I'm involved with a whole bunch of different things that make me. I don't think there's anything wrong with being a person that has kind of one niche. But
Mm-hmm.
I pride myself in having multiple, and I think that's I find that interesting and keeps my life pretty fun. So Jay Z, Joe Rogan, Rich Paul, and different influences, and my granddad. Just trying to become something more than what I could even think for myself, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's like we were speaking on like having like multiple niches or niches. That's something I really like because I think it's too short what we have to not see what all is out there. Like I'm trying to absorb as much information as I can, just because one I love learning, just not learning in the school. Like I like being able to like actually go and learn what something's about and not just like a textbook version of it. So that's like Joe Rogan. I've been listening to a lot of his stuff more recently, and I remember man, that was what, late high school, early no, late middle school, early high school. Like Jay Z, like you were mentioning, like anytime he had an interview or had anything, me and my friends were always watching that stuff. Like he was pretty big in those times, and not just for his music career. It was he was speaking publicly on a lot of platforms, or about a lot of platforms, I should say. But like I know who Rich Paul is. I just never like followed him in anything. So that'll be somebody to kind of be watching out for, I guess. So that's a new one. I always have to write these down afterwards. So I'm like, it's like, all right, who are the people they named and what are the books? All right, well, I like that. Yes, okay. um, the
I was gonna say
Go ahead.
Rich Paul. He's with Clutch Sports. He's LeBron James' agent, and now he has a whole bunch of people under him. But yeah,
Oh,
check him out. Check him out. Good story behind that.
I was wondering. I was like, why do I know the sports agent's name? I was like, because that's pretty obscure for me. Because like I like sports, but I was never like super into like what was going on in the background of them. So like, but I was just like Rich Paul. I was like, I know this guy. I just don't know why. So that alone, I guess that alone's enough to kind of pique your interest. Now that you said it, I'm like, oh, hey,
Sure.
trigger that. So, what do you think the number one key to success is in your market?
Honestly, staying in your lane, really, running your own race. I think with it's more so any market. I feel, but when you're trying to build something, from the ground up, especially, I think it's important to not necessarily pay attention to your competition, quote unquote, or the people around you. Just kind of build your foundation. I harp on this a lot to the people around me. It's like I'm building the foundation. I'm building the foundation. I don't know how long it is until I get past the foundation part, but I just
Mm-hmm.
know it's important to build my foundation. It's important to stay in my lane and run my own race. Because I feel as though if you get caught up in what everyone else is doing, it takes away from what you're doing. It takes away from your creativity. It takes away from your passion, and it can create doubt. everyone has different circumstances. So I really feel as though the more you focus on you developing yourself, um, developing the things that you already have your hands in, the easier things will come. The easier things
Yeah.
will build. You know.
That way you're not going to be super worried about, it's like, well, they're here and I'm here. It's like, well, they're here, but they don't have this, and you're here, but you have that. So, just like you said, you just gotta find your balance, and by balance, it's kind of keeping to yourself. And you can definitely tell when someone kind of copied someone else instead of like putting their self into it. So then that would make a huge difference by the time they think that they're about to blow up.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah, that's a good one. I hadn't heard anyone put it that way, so hopefully a lot of people resonate with that as well. The next question is do you have any customer success or fan success stories? And like, why would it be your number one?
I think just with the so PMG, I've had PMG since August. I'm coming up on our year anniversary of PMG, and it's been a great journey. But I think this fan success is more people knowing what I do from a natural state. I'm not harping on, I'm not yelling. I'm working the game in the esports. It's like they're following along the journey. They're seeing the people I'm picking up. They see the media, the social media, the promotions that we do, and they're learning naturally, about gaming in the industry and the possibilities in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
And I think just having people even recognize PMG, it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. Like I said, I built it from the ground up. Started it. It was one of those things where I felt as though I had something to offer. I felt as though I had a path to take this journey on,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't know what would come from it. I didn't know who I would meet. I didn't know the things that would build from it. But now, just in a year, I feel like I've made so much progress, and it's just cool that people follow along. They, any followers we get on social media, anytime someone reaches out to me,
Mm-hmm.
anytime I ask to do an interview, anything like that, it's like, it's a great feeling. It's an appreciative feeling because I started from just a thought in
Yep.
my head. I teach sport management, so it really came from I'm teaching my kids about gaming, esports, marketing, sport marketing. It's like the entrepreneur in me. I don't just want to teach.
Yeah.
I want to be in it.
Yeah. It's
I
like
get my hands dirty.
I was like, I want to teach it, but like I want to be like, I can teach this because I am in this.
Exactly. It makes a big difference. So
Mm-hmm.
and anyone that follows me on social media, especially my Twitter, I like to inspire people any way that I can. So I like to have any type of motivation I can kind of put out there and help others. So I found that me being in it myself not only helps other people realize the possibilities that they can do,
Mm-hmm.
or the things that they can do, and if I can inspire one person to go after their dreams, that's another reason I love my MMA journey. It's like I wasn't afraid to go after my dreams, and I
Mm-hmm.
can tell someone else that's scared or not ready to go after their dreams because they're overthinking it, that it's okay. It's okay. You want to go after your dreams. You want to see what you're made of. You want to see where you can go, who you can impact, who you can meet, what you can really do. Because unfortunately, we're not on this earth forever. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
what's going to be your story? What's going to be your story? So, I think that's been the biggest thing, man. Is showing people what I can do over and over and over again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll go ahead and let you know. Your impact on social media is one of the reasons that this podcast is even happening.
Wow, man.
Yeah. So like we had connected a couple times through a couple of the CLT events, and obviously use it just like networking. So we exchange socials and stuff like that. And I kept seeing what you were posting, and I'd already had like I sent you the list of questions, but there is a much bigger document of stuff that I was like wanting to start, and I was like, it's like I said, you were just like one of the pieces, and it was just like I was like, man, it's like I had no idea you had only been operating for a year. It seems like way longer than that now. I'm thinking about it, but
Yeah.
that's yeah. So here's one person you've at least helped get started on something.
Yes, Lord.
So
Yes,
just
Lord.
let you know it's happening. um, so what
Wow,
are
man, that's all I love. Thank you.
some of your lessons learned from starting? I guess more on the
Um,
PMG side.
yeah. For sure. Kind of go back to what I said. Run my own race. Don't get ahead of myself. Make sure I am sticking with the plan. Especially when things start moving and you get a little momentum, it's easy to kind of try to jump ahead of the plan.
Mm-hmm.
But I found that the more I stick with my ground and what I know I need to do and how I need to connect and grow, I feel as though everything keeps moving at a good pace. I've had so many people that I've met, and that's a blessing to meet a lot of people. But with meeting a lot of people, you get a lot of different opinions, a lot of influence to do things this way or that way, this way or that way. And I feel as though one thing I've had to do is learn how to take in advice,
Mm-hmm.
opinions, even being influenced. I've learned how to take that, but still take what I need from it
Mm-hmm.
and use it to the best way I can use it. I think when you find a little bit of success, people always want to kind of come in and help you feel as though listen to me and you'll get it even faster, or
Yeah.
listen to me and it can be better. But I think it's always important for you to stay true to yourself. um, Not saying you don't listen to people, but you have to have a it goes back to that foundation, bro. You have to have the foundation, how you're going to do things, and the vision of what you want things to look like. And if you have that, then you can take all the influence, all the advice, and morph it to use it the best way you can.
Yeah, that's a good one. As far as the piecing apart of all the advice, it's like, yep, that one was good. Okay, this one doesn't really fit whatever model I'm trying to do, but I think I've heard that a few times here on here now. But it's one like whenever it pops up, like I like pointing out that it's like, hey, another one has said this, so it's not something that's just like a one off. It's something if you're trying to get out there and do your own thing. Like these are probably one of the pieces of advice that you would want to listen to, but like you said, stay in your lane.
And
uh,
you're like,
um, so approach methods for partners and investors, or actually, you know what? Let me backtrack one more, because like I said, I just found out a few weeks ago that you were actually um, part or the founder of the it's Black Gamer League, right? So, was there any lessons learned from starting that, or did that just kind of naturally fall off of PMG?
I feel as though it could be a little bit of both. The Black Gamer League was formed because I'm Black African American, and there aren't a lot of I didn't know before I started everything. I didn't know a lot of people that were Black or African American that were prominent in the esport and gaming space.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not obviously they're Black gamers, so I found it really really important to try to make a network of people, a community of people that were Black that could connect and see that okay, we have Black esport coaches, we have Black esport owners or organizations and things like that because it's important. It's important representation. So
Mm-hmm.
it was cool for me to create a space where we could come together and say, okay, we aren't you know we aren't so spread out. We
Yeah.
have more
Yeah.
people in the industry, than we know, and it's cool to kind of come together and have a network of people where you can have advice and game together and grow together and help each other succeed in this industry. And I think it's a beautiful thing. And I try to so the school I teach at is a HBC, it's a historically Black college
Okay.
university. So when I'm in my classes, I teach about gaming and esports. My kids love gaming.
Mm-hmm.
They play all types of games, but they didn't know what esports were. So, as a gamer, as people, as kids that game all day, every day, for them to not know that it's another industry within the gaming industry as a whole,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of blew my mind. So, it's just like I don't want my kids to not see opportunities in this industry to do something that they love just off the simple fact of them not being exposed by it.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That'd be a shame.
it's weird. I mean, they could grow to become the next huge developer, a leader in the industry, but they might have never even heard of it, or may
Yeah,
have heard of it too late.
yeah.
So I think that um, with this industry, especially, it's important for all types of voices to be in the industry, to bring all types of flavor and all types of different ideas and creativity into it. Because, as a gamer, we benefit from any type of breakthrough in the
Oh,
gaming
yeah,
industry.
yeah.
If you're a gamer, this is for everybody. So it's like, I love the fact that that's what gaming does. It brings people together, and it creates this huge community within communities.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on if you're
Yeah,
PC or systems, it's like it's a bunch of different communities all under one roof of gaming. I think it's beautiful, but it's like I wanted to make sure that everyone knew the possibilities with it.
yeah. Man, that's dope. That's super awesome. That one, you're getting the opportunity to already do that at Livingston, but to also just, it's like, hey, just on. I'm assuming it's all social media, right? I think it was. I'm trying to remember.
What's that?
The Black Gamer League. You
I'm saying, yeah, so everything's on Twitter and then Facebook currently right
okay?
now.
Yeah, I'll get those handles and I'll put them down below in this section of the video.
Yeah.
But I totally forgot to snag those earlier today because that's one of the things I had to. That's I usually do on the last day to make sure I get everything. But I'd forgotten like your handles and I was like, oh shoot, let me text them that. And now like as soon as we started, I was like, oh, I didn't get Black Gamer League. um, but
It's all good.
yeah, so the moving on to the question I'd asked a second ago, approach methods for like partners or investors, or if you pretty much just try to do everything organic at this point.
I mean, honestly, and I'm kind of proud of it. I've done everything organically. I've done everything organically. I started it off, and I brought my best friend into it, and then I got crew and mentees into it, and
Mm-hmm.
obviously my wife. My wife was a big part of everything. So I've kept it organic. Like I said, that's a part of that foundational pull that
Mm-hmm.
I'm always going to talk about. I need to get a shirt that says foundation.
Yeah, just
Because
it's like
it's
foundation.
right. It's important, man. It's important. So I wanted to stay true to myself. I didn't want to jump the gun. I would love for people to want to be a part of PMG, be a part of like Gamer League, but I want it to all be natural and organic. I don't want to have to beg for someone to come in
Yeah.
and try to help me to make my brand this or that. It's like, no, man. Like, I'm a huge believer. What's for me is going to find me. So
Yeah.
not saying I'm not going to look for opportunities, but I'm not going to beg for opportunities. I'm not going to validate my success off of who works with me.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
that's just
That's
a part of
important. That's important.
yeah. That's just a part of everything I do. I built this, and I'm gonna keep building it.
All right. Well, that's super awesome because, like you said, it's only been a year, and like I said, that's hard to believe for me. It seems like it's been like way more than that because of like how much I've seen you grow. And I remember, uh, was OG your first kind of like athlete creator that you brought on?
Yeah. OG Sweatband, my
Yeah.
boy JV Carter.
It
Yep.
was like I thought it was so cool whenever I met him at an event and he was like, yeah, I'm with PMG, and I saw the jacket and I was like, I was like, wait a minute. I was like, is that Phorce Management Group? He was like, yeah. He's like, how'd you know? I was like, I know Chris. I was like, that is insane. Like, I was like, that's crazy that like you'd already like gotten somebody in, and because like it was, I mean, that was just a few months prior. Whenever we were, I think it was at Dave and Buster's, and I was like, and you were talking about, uh, so at that point, I didn't know you'd even started yet. So, or I mean, you hadn't started because I say a few months. I guess that was about 6 months. But like, I didn't know you had started. I thought you were going to start, and I was like, man, that's insane. And then
It's been a
now,
journey, man. It's been a great journey.
because like now you got what? I'm trying to think of all the names. Like eight different people with you now.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
you got 8 on the squad now.
yeah.
So it's great, man. It's great.
That's insane. That's just awesome. Sorry, I'm looking down because I forgot the next like few questions. uh, have well, I guess you said you pretty much done everything organically, so I assume you haven't used any paid ads or promotions. Is that also just because of the foundation, or like would you pretty much never plan on using them? How do you feel about them?
No, paid ads and promotions are obviously good, man. It gets a another view that you may not have ever touched. So I'm not against it. I just think being building organically, from the
Mm-hmm.
ground up, I use my funding, my money wisely.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
right now, we've been doing a great job with promoting, and the people we bring in have done a great job with representing PMG, and that was a part of like me choosing those people. Everyone that is a part of PMG, from the content creators, gamers, people that work for PMG, everyone is all in. They represent PMG, they love PMG, and I think that's a big part of building any brand is that you have people believe in your brand,
Mm-hmm.
believe in the things I'm doing. Not that it's all about me, but I made it, so it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I set the example. So I found people that were willing to not only push me, but that I could pull knowledge from,
Mm-hmm.
that I could learn from, that could build with me. That we don't have the ego thing. That's a really big part of what I do. Like I said, even though I made it, there's nothing about me making it that makes me feel like I trump anything that
Yeah,
someone else said. You know,
yeah. That,
and I think that's important.
yeah, that's pretty important, and it's very rare. So, yeah. So the fact that you're still like that, even after the growth that you've had in the first year, is still really awesome to hear. Because, like you said, some people when they start to get a little bit successful, just like they try to take that jump forward, but they also take that jump forward with their ego. So it's that can be detrimental to you then or later on. And if it's later on, it'll have a much bigger impact. So that's
Hey,
pretty big.
I'll tell you this to go back to what we were talking about a little earlier. You get punched in the face a couple of times. It's hard to have an ego.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Like, God, I told him that he wasn't going to touch me. um, yeah, because that's like that's. It, I think those sparring sessions was, I mean, like it's nowhere near the same experience, but like that kind of stuff when like I would used to kind of like I wouldn't say completely make fun of, but I would kind of like poke my friends that were in it. I was like, what are you doing, man? I was like, you're never gonna be able to use that stuff. And then I was like, all right, spar. And I was like, okay, yep, ego's definitely been leveled out a little bit. um,
It carries on. It carries on.
yes, the approach on reaching out to other businesses or people for guidance for improvements. I know you said you take some of the advice, but like, what's the approach that you have whenever you go to them?
Really, it's so one thing I've learned, especially dealing specifically with business, it's a little different from anything I've ever done. But when I'm trying to get advice or kind of pick someone's brain or learn from someone, you have to really be humble. You have to really be humble because I realized, dealing with it, one, they don't owe you anything. They don't have to tell you anything.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone you're going to, they don't have to tell you a single thing, especially if they built it from the ground up themselves. Like, you know, uh, so you can't really expect people to want to help you. So I've taken the kind of approach of if anyone was to tell me anything at all, I'm appreciative of it. If they don't tell me their secret to how they, made it, that's fine. If they tell me one little thing that could help me figure it out,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really, really important. Now, I say that to say that that's not how I approach things myself. I have students, I have people under me that, will ask me things, and I'll tell them. I'll just tell them because
Mm-hmm.
I I want to help people. Like period, point blank period. I always want to help people, and I realized a long time ago that um, helping someone come up doesn't take away from what you can do for yourself.
Yeah.
So even though when I approach people and I try to get knowledge from people, and if they shut me down or not, I'm appreciative for it. But when it comes to me myself, I give that knowledge away because it's important. It's important to help anyone. You never know who that person could be, in the future, or what they could, not that it's about them doing something for you, but it's like you just honestly never know who they could become. So
Mm-hmm.
if I have a hand in helping someone realize their dreams, get to a place that they never thought they could get to, and it might come back and help me,
Yeah.
or I can just feel good about me knowing that I helped this person with that, and there's still no ego behind it. Like I'm just genuinely happy that that person got that, or they got there, or
Mm-hmm.
they reached this. So when it comes to me personally going out to people, I think it's just me being humble in the fact that one, they definitely don't have to give me any information, and two, if they do, spend time talking to me, to always be appreciative, no matter how small the advice might be.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good way of that's more of a, I guess, philosophy at that point, just to have. And I mean, it's a philosophy as old as time, or that it's like help your neighbor. There's nothing that you should be doing that isn't helping your neighbor. There's no reason to just be like no, because
And, I'll keep going,
I was
please.
like, because karma.
Yeah, because karma, exactly. That's another shirt because
Yeah,
karma.
because karma.
Yeah. And honestly, one more thing I would like to add on to that,
Mm-hmm.
with reaching out, especially, don't be afraid to reach out. That's one thing that I'm not afraid to do at all. Whether that be sending a tweet on Twitter, DM, if they have your email, or like whenever I see the opportunity. I've talked to people when I've gotten on, they've been doing a live stream, and you can comment on a lot of live streams. I've commented my question,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll get answers.
Yeah.
And it's just the fact of not being afraid to go after what you want, and that includes not being afraid to, look a certain way in front of people. I feel as though people don't go after things because they're nervous about how people are going to view them, or especially in a public forum, like a live, like, oh, why do you ask that dumbass question?
Yeah. Yeah.
I asked that dumbass question, and I got a good ass
Yeah.
answer.
That's a good one there. So that's a no ass question, but look at that good ad answer we got. um,
It's not being afraid, man.
yeah. I've definitely seen it before. It's like people were more scared about either the following or like the title that that person's position is, and I was like, do you see what's above the position? Their name. They're just the person. There's no reason not to try and talk to them. It's not
Hmm.
like if they tell you like no, or they ignore you. It's they're not just trying to shut you down. It's just like it's just a person. I mean,
Exactly.
that's all it is. It took maybe 1 minute, depending on what you're sending of your time, and that's all it took. So no reason not to
And it could
because
change.
yeah, because like oh man, I'm trying to remember what it was. One of my friends was trying to contact the CEO of, oh my gosh, man, I cannot remember what it was. We were back in like high school or whatnot, and like he never got a response from the person. But towards the end of that semester, he was like, "You'll never believe what just happened." He was like, "He's like, so and so just emailed me back." Because that was back in high school. Like you could have had a MySpace, but no CEO was going to be on MySpace replying to somebody. And I thought that was like the coolest. I think it was MLG because I think he was asking questions about MLG or wanting to like try and like do something like that. And so I think that's what it was. I think it was MLG and like the Major League Gaming. I was like, that's insane. And it took a long time just to
Took a
convince
shot.
him. Yeah, well, it took a long time to convince him. It's like, hey, just do it. I was like, that's that business. Like, it may seem big because of all the tournaments they were the tournament organizer then. So you know, it took a lot of convincing, but it happened.
I mean but that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, bro, take your shot. Like it's the one thing you're gonna know is if you never ask, you never contact them, you'll never hear from them. But as long as you know you put it out there, there's always that chance they'll get back to you. There's always that chance they'll say exactly what you want, or it can lead to so many different things. But it's like, bro, you have to take your shot. You have to.
Yeah,
Period.
yeah, and like there's a there's a couple CEOs in like the just esports space. Well, CEOs are like higher position people that like I follow on Twitter and Instagram, and like I'll interact with them, and like sometimes my friends are like mind blown that they respond back to me. I was like, that's kind of what this whole platform is about. Social
That's
networking.
one thing. Social media is one of those tools that we get so caught up in the fun aspect of it that we don't realize. Like, we can literally, I teach about this in my class. Like, we literally can contact anyone in the world. Now, if they get back to you, that's one thing. But
Yeah.
the fact that I can even I can reach them,
Mm-hmm.
you know, your favorite athlete, you know, a CEO, like I can literally send a message to them, and if they get back, cool. If not, I still know I tried to contact them, and that's
Yeah.
something that people, 20 years ago couldn't even dream of. They
No.
would have,
No.
but you have to find so many different ways to try to contact one person, and then you might not even ever contact them or get close to contacting them. Social media, oh, his email's right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like back in the day, you gotta hope it was still the same. it's
Exactly.
like, does that even exist anymore? um. So now moving on to some more like recent changes and stuff like that. In what aspect did COVID impact you the most?
So obviously,
COVID.
COVID was um, a big hit to just life in general. But I feel as though, honestly, man, I've taken it with stride. I was already out for summer. I recently had, I recently had a baby girl, my second baby girl. She's turned 3 months today, actually. So my wife was on leave from her job, so I had a lot of family time, man. This whole time, me, my wife, my two little baby girls, we having so much time together, and it's been super valuable for
It's
my
important.
development as a really important. Been really really valuable for my development as a husband, father, and as a businessman. The cool thing about esports and gaming is, you can do a lot of things online.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a communication factor. You don't have to necessarily be, you know, uh, in each other's face all the time. So,
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel as though it's hurt. We haven't been able to go do public things, but it's been giving me a lot of time to develop the online space, develop our website even more. Really just kind of clean house with, or I don't want to say clean house, but polish house.
Mm-hmm.
That is a
Yeah.
better
Just
aspect. So it's giving me a lot of time to look over everything that I already have and gain a new appreciation for being able to go outside and go different places and see things like
Yeah,
that. But it's helped me a lot.
that's what I feel like. A lot of my friends personally are able to, like, a lot of them are like, man, I hadn't gone out and just like been out in nature in so long, but that's pretty much what like they're all doing or we're all doing, just because it's like I can't go out with people, but hey, parks are still open. You can still go hike the mountains. Hey, you're going down the river. Guess what? No one else is right beside you. So it's
Right, all the days, right?
yeah. So like a lot of people are like, I feel like whenever stuff gets back to somewhat normal, like the hunger that some of these people are gonna have, and the way they attack from their, or I say attack from their business, but they run with their businesses after this, it's gonna be insane, especially in this area.
I believe
Yeah. The next question I have for you is the hobbies outside of your business. I think we all kind of got a feel for it because of your background, but
bro, definitely. I will, like you said, you could probably guess, but gaming and fitness. Me and my wife were outside every day. Put the kids down for a nap. We go outside, and we grind it out. We exercise like crazy every single day. I get inside. I'm playing games. That's why I said, like, COVID's horrible. It's completely horrible. But as far as impacting what I do, I've been blessed to where I've been still able to do the things I want.
it's like that.
I don't need to go to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
I can go right outside. I have equipment. Then I come in and play with my kids, and then once they go to sleep, then Daddy gets playtime on his games.
Yeah, it's like Daddy gets his own
So,
playtime.
yeah, so it's been cool, man. It's been cool. And my wife is pretty dope. She enjoys a lot of things I like. So we watch My Hero Academia, all types of animes, movies, and I'm a big kid at heart. So I enjoy watching all the kid movies
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. So it really has been a great time for me. If anyone knows me, I definitely look for the positive and the negative. So
Mm-hmm.
as much COVID has impacted a lot of people negatively, I try to keep it positive and see what I can do to keep myself on the right track.
Yeah, and that is probably the number one reason why, like, after meeting you, I was like, he's going on that list I'm making. Because like the positivity you had just during all that, and just like from talking to you, I was like, yep, that's one of the people, has to happen. Has to. I was like, I just hope he doesn't leave Charlotte. Otherwise, we're making another type of podcast. um,
Better get
the
this episode.
Yeah, it's like this is going to be a special episode. um, so speaking of, well, I guess you're not really getting out in this sense, but what are like some of your favorite spots in Charlotte that you like to go to?
So man, all right. So we said spots. I love downtown Charlotte. Period.
Mm-hmm.
I love walking around there. Different restaurants. I don't know if this is technically a spot, but I'm a big sports head, so I love going to Charlotte Hornets games. The Hornets are my actual team in the NBA.
Okay. I know.
I
Real
love
OG.
going I love Panthers games, but that's not my team. I'm a New England Patriots.
Oh yeah.
Um, but I go to Panthers games. I love the atmosphere, and it's got Cam Newton, so that's like a little piece of.
Yeah, that's what I would say. I knew that was going to come up in this question, so I was like, I want to know how like excited you were to get a little piece of Charlotte into New England.
I'm extremely my wife and our jerseys are on the way. We are extremely excited. I always wanted if there was a possibility that we could have got Cam, because especially after Tom leaving. I love Tom. He went to another
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, man, you
no,
just don't even want to talk about it.
my heart started racing. But for us to get another talent like Cam Newton, man, and for him to come back, he has a lot to prove, and I believe if he's healthy, he's going to be able to really help us, and it's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting football in New England. So I'm happy for it. I'm bummed that COVID happened because there aren't going to be a lot of games, and I'm even more bummed that even if COVID wasn't here, the Patriots were cutting it down
Yeah,
to
yeah.
uh, Carolina's going up to New England. So I have to wait for that. But it's been cool. It's been cool having them, and it's gonna be fun when we can actually watch some football.
Yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off, but whenever you said that, I was like, I gotta put it in there, just because I know how much you love your Patriots, and I was like, I gotta ask him how he feels about having Charlotte up there, or a piece of Charlotte. So, did you have any other spots other than like downtown and the arena and the field?
Um. So
I
let's
mean, if
see.
not,
Let's
that's
see.
cool because downtown, like you said, I love going
Yeah,
down there.
that's what it is. Like epicenter thing, definitely an epicenter. But yeah, that downtown area as a whole, me and my wife, that's one thing we're trying to really explore and find like our go to spots. Like I was up here for college, but it's like kind of go to the same places all the time, things like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But Charlotte as a whole is beautiful. I used to think I wanted to live in Charlotte until I really got what the city life was about. Like
it's like
downtown Charlotte, I
it's
mean,
like this is too busy. It's too busy.
yeah, crazy. But it's been cool just living up here, man, and finding good spots.
So, what is the one thing that's really changed about our city since you've lived? Well, I say since you lived here, I guess, because you said you were born in Salisbury, so I don't know when you left down to Charleston. But so, what's changed about it in the times you've been around it that you love or find interesting?
I think just the Charlotte's personality.
Mm-hmm.
We've had the sport teams, but as far as like Charlotte kind of being known for, its different aspects and kind of the cultures that are in Charlotte. The more you dive into Charlotte, depending on what you're doing, you find so many different aspects, like the gaming industry, the art industry, the sports side,
Mm-hmm.
the education side. Like there's so many, there's something here for everyone. So I think that's really, really cool about Charlotte. There are a lot of cities that they're kind of known for one thing.
Yeah, the city
There's
runs and
something
operates on like one thing.
or something that's so dominant that it's hard to think of something else like in the culture.
Yeah,
So it's like I think Charlotte is a great city, but it's also small enough that people can come here and be comfortable. It's not the same vibe as like a New York or LA.
yeah.
You still get a lot of fun and excitement and culture, but it's definitely toned down compared to other places.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Like when you're like in Charlotte, like just going 5 minutes one direction, like it's crazy how much it changes because of, like you said, it's like pretty much every area has like every aspect, but like Noda, that's where all your art is. That's where all of it is. So it's just like areas like that. It's like you just got like small little sections of Charlotte you can go to, and you're gonna see it until you get to like obviously like inside the 277, and then you got all your business, but there's still so much history in there that it's just crazy.
And I like where it's at. Like Charlotte is like in a like kind of the middle of like you go from Charlotte, you can go from Charlotte to a bunch of different places
Oh
like
yeah,
that are like close proximity. So it's pretty cool to be able to bounce from place to place like that or travel from Charlotte and things like that. So I love it, man. I truly love being back in North Carolina. I love Charleston. I love Charleston. That's where I grew up. But you know,
yeah. It's like,
I
yeah. I hadn't actually been down there yet.
oh,
I've been like all around there. Well, I didn't say all around there because I haven't been there, and I think Hilton Head's fairly close, right? So I hadn't been there either. But that's is Hilton Head South Carolina or is that Georgia? I can't remember. Yeah.
Oh,
So like,
you got down there.
yeah, it's like I'm hoping I was slated to go down there for some training before COVID happened. So after uh, if we come back up and that training's still available, I'm hoping I get to go down there because it's like 2 months. So it gives me plenty of time to explore Charleston and everything I hear about it. Um, but yeah, I'm trying to get down there, but I know it's a little busy, so I can't be taking the wife down there.
Oh yeah, seriously, man. But yeah, if you guys get a chance to go down there, you'll love it, man. You'll love it. You'll love it. We have a lot to do. Yeah, I don't know if you know, but Charleston was like the #1 tourist destination for like 2 years in a row. Beat out France. Seriously,
For what?
like the #1 tourist destination in the world. You
Oh
can look it
wow,
up. It's
no,
a fact.
I did not know that. That is insane.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Beat out France. Beat out anywhere else.
that is what I'm looking.
I'm
I'm
so
googling that
serious.
right after this. right after this.
I'm telling you, look it up. It's a fact. Beat them
Okay,
out.
uh,
Everyone loves you.
and I'm gonna be putting it out on social media. Like today, I learned, and then I'm also gonna have to look up what the #1 attraction was, and like this was the #1 attraction 2 years running in the world. Because that blows my
It's
mind.
great.
That blows my mind. I did not know that.
Mhm.
Wow. Okay.
You know,
So,
Charleston is a lot of history, man. A lot of history, a lot of
oh, for sure.
culture down there that people love. People love to find out, and we got beaches, we got resorts. You know, we have a lot of money down there.
A
A lot
lot
of
of
money
money.
down there. Yeah, for sure. Check it out, man.
Alrighty. Um, now I'm like even more stoked that I get this training slot back. So that kind of wraps up everything about PMG and Black Gamer League that I wanted to talk about. So like the next question would be: is there any other like local entrepreneurs to the Charlotte area that you find interesting?
Yeah, man. So, kind of sticking with the gaming space. It's an all-girl gaming organization called the Athena
Athena.
Alliance, and my girl Emmy. Yeah, my girl Emmy and Eve over there. They're doing a lot of great things for the Charlotte community, for gaming girls all around the world. They're reaching a lot of people. So I have to shout out them. They've been great friends, and I'm proud to see growth too, especially standing up and being a place for women
Yeah,
and
yeah.
have their community in gaming. So it's been really great.
Especially in gaming, that luckily the stigma is being broken now, but too long has it not been that way.
Oh man, seriously, seriously. Um, my boy Yoel, he was with Koyobi, but now he's with Mike with Pixels and Potions, and they're really good people too. And shout out to CLT Esports too. And anybody that's in this area that is promoting gaming and esports. I'm one of those people that I feel as though you know anyone that's contributing to the growth of it in this area, like
hmm
it's important. It's important. And, as gamers, we know the importance of just that exposure piece I was talking about earlier. So the bigger it gets in the city, the more fun it is for everyone in surrounding areas. So it's been a really um, cool experience to have a network of people and know people doing this and doing that. It's inspiring. It really is.
Yeah, that's I'm actually like I was at first I was like kind of taken away by it, but then after getting to know like the culture of esports, because like I knew about it as a viewer and I loved it, but there was always like as a viewer it seemed like the community as a whole was pretty toxic, just like video game lobbies were. But once you get into it, it seems like especially with like within Charlotte, like you all know each other and you all talk about each other, which is nice. And it's like, and nobody's like, no, you don't want to do that, or like you don't want to associate with them. They all respect one another, and like you said, they love to see each other grow because it's only going to help both of them out. everyone out in the future. So that's I was actually, like I said, I was super surprised by that. I was like, man, there's a lot more around here than I thought there was, and they all like to just lend a hand. So
And that's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about, honestly. Everyone grow, and be happy together.
yep. So this is a segment where I just kind of open it up if you had any questions for me.
Yeah, man. So like, I really want to know, I'm real appreciative of you saying that I helped you, maybe gave you some inspiration to keep, go after what you're doing now. But what made you want to do the podcast thing, man? Because I love the podcast.
So it was the fact that once I started like falling in love with Charlotte, it was just amazing to me how many entrepreneurs are around here. And at the same time, I'm like, how did I not know this? So, like, I'm hoping to kind of just get people's awareness up of like who is in Charlotte and what they're doing, because like it's really surprising whenever you get in it and you can see, because it really all started from when I was throwing axes, because apparently a lot of entrepreneurs love to go do that. And so literally, like, I was like one of the only ones there that like didn't own their own business. And I was like, I feel so out of place, but these people are just so cool and like down to earth, and just, it's like outside of like their business role. It's like, it's just a person. And then after that, like, it just, every time I went out, it's like I was meeting somebody else. And I'm like, man, there's a lot here, but at the same time, it's like I feel like I would like to become a platform where people could go to find out who is here and what they're doing.
I love that, man. I not just because I'm on the show, but man, I wish you all the success in the world. Seriously, that's dope, and I feel like there's a lesson to be taught behind what you just said, and that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm happy to be a part of it.
No, well, I appreciate you also being on here. That's for sure. And like I said, because when I first met you, I mean, I wasn't associated with anybody. I was just there, and you were just talking, just like it was nothing. So is that the only question you have for me? You don't need to think of anything else. I just didn't want to cut you off.
Second, I'll for sure think of something. But no, that's good, man. I'm like I said, this is dope. Great show, man. Great show.
Okay. So just to close it out, did you have any like plugs or promotions that you would like to throw out there for everybody?
Man, if you can follow me on all social medias at Phorce Davis. That's PHORCEDAVIS. I'm on all social medias. Phorce Management, PHORCEMNGT, and follow the Black Gamer League. And on Twitter, it's BLKGAMERLEAGUE. So you can find everything from there. All the people that are on PMG, all the content that we create. Like I said earlier in this, man, I appreciate anyone out there that's going to stop by and give a like or comment, or even just view the page. So we really appreciate everything. We're working hard for this, and hopefully you'll be able to join in on the fun.
Alrighty. Well, like I said, thanks for being on the show and giving me the chance to kind of sit down and talk and get to know you and everything behind Phorce Management. And all right, everybody, this is the Brother Jacks signing off.